President Trump signing several more executive orders today, among them an order which we're told will make it easier to revive the controversial Keystone pipeline. The orders also streamline a bunch of manufacturing industry regulations and cut down on red tape for environmental reviews and infrastructure projects. President Trump said these would all be priorities once he's in office. But are executive orders the best way to govern? Let me ask Judge Andrew Napolitano, Fox News senior judicial analyst. Judge, welcome back.
Good to be with you, candidate.
So let's talk about some of these things. First, one of the very first regulation was that of the ACA, which you said was actually a revolutionary executive order. What about that was revolutionary?
There are a number of things about it that are fascinating, but 2 points stand out. One is his firm determination stated in this order that soon Obamacare will not be the law. Therefore, and now he's addressing it to the thousands of bureaucrats in the federal government that administer it. If you're about to impose a set-off, a fine, a fee, a penalty, or a tax, which is what is imposed for the first time in 2017 on people who don't have health insurance, don't impose it. Because by the time the IRS gets around to collecting those taxes, they won't have the authority to do so because it won't be the law. That is profound. The prediction that something won't be the law and the instruction to the IRS, which likes to grab as much money as it can, don't grab money that you're only going to have to return. Here's what was revolutionary. Here's what I saw for the first time in 45 years, I hate to use that number, of studying and watching the laws and the government administer them. I've never seen the government do this. If you are in an area where you have discretion, you can make choices on the time, place, manner, and severity of the enforcement. And you have a choice between benefiting the individual and benefiting the government. Go against the government.
Yeah, that is unreal.
This is purely Jeffersonian. This is unheard of in the history of the United States post-Woodrow Wilson, that the President of the United States would admit the government is wrong, the law is bad, it's not his law, but still the government is wrong, we have a chance to collect money, we don't want your money because it would be wrong for us to take it, therefore I'm telling the bureaucrats that enforce this to construe it in favor of the individual and against the government. Utterly revolutionary.
Okay, now that's good news, but there were a lot of people who came out against President Obama and said that he was using executive orders way too robustly, too aggressively. Do you want to caution this new president against the same act?
When did he sign this? He signed it Friday afternoon, 4 hours after he took an oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, a clause of which says he will faithfully enforce the laws. Madison told us the word faithfully is in there to remind the president there are laws that he hates. He still has to enforce them.
All right.
So he is choosing not to enforce a law that he hates because he believes it will soon no longer be the law. That's radical, that's revolutionary, and it's what he promised he would do.
Okay, speaking of law enforcement, James Comey has told agents at the FBI that the president has asked him to stay on and continue his term. How big of a development is this?
It's a very big development, and it's bad news for Jim Comey, because many, many, many FBI agents are profoundly unhappy that he is remaining as the director of the FBI.
Did they assume that he would resign and there would be a regime change there?
The people to whom I have spoken assumed that the new president, whether it was going to be Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, would ask him to resign. His behavior during the Hillary Clinton investigation, of announcing no indictment and then giving all the reasons for indictment, of reopening the case after it had been closed based upon a hunch in Anthony Weiner's laptop that turned out not to be true, and a variety of other things, remaining silent during the Loretta Lynch Bill Clinton meeting while Bill Clinton was himself the target of a criminal investigation. That behavior is so contrary to FBI tradition, so demoralizing to the FBI, so rife with the potential for political corruption. This guy went from having the best reputation in law enforcement for being a straight shooter, for telling a president of the United States, I'm not going to do it because it's unconstitutional, I'll quit before I do it, to becoming a political player.
So there he is. He appears to be compromised. The CIA in turmoil, chaos at the FBI. We'll see how this all shakes out. Thank you so much, Judge.
Interesting way for him to start his term.
It really is. And he's got his tiny hands full.